Throughout this entire year, Republicans have been attempting to go back to their home districts and do little town halls, get a feel for what the average American thinks. And every single time, it's been a complete and total disaster for these Republicans. It got so bad that obviously earlier in this year, you had Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson say, "No more town halls. Stop doing this. We're getting crushed." But Republicans remain defiant and continue to go out there and hear from their constituents who clearly hate their guts. And this week, it was Republican Representative Mark Alford's turn. Alford, of course, being a Republican representative from the state of Missouri. And he got an earful from an angry farmer who said that because of Trump's policies, he's probably gonna lose his farm. And then he told the Republican lawmaker to get your head out of Donald Trump's ass. Here is the full text of what Missouri farmer and voter Fred Higginbottom had to say. "I've lived in Polk County since '98. I was a firefighter in California. I saw what could happen when a state works together with its people. This state does not know how to do that." He went on to say that he's pissed, and then said, "Trump is a dictator. He knows nothing about what he talks about. I listened to him for about a half hour today, and I got sick at all the lies he brought up. Now I'm about ready to lose my farm. You want to straighten out the budget? Start taxing corporations and the wealthy." And the audience applauded. "Do you think we're idiots? Do you think we don't pay taxes? Do you think that we don't have to make budgets? Believe me, you are not helping me. You need to take your head out of Trump's ass and start doing your representation of us." So first and foremost, Fred Higginbottom, hell yeah. Like, perfect. Absolutely loved everything you had to say. And what I love even more about it, and this is the weirdest part, is that you admitted, you're like, listen, I listened to Trump for half an hour today. So this is a guy who's tuned in, he's plugged in, and you're not going to sit there and listen to Trump, if you're somebody who absolutely hates him. This is a guy that seems to have a very open mind, right? I don't know if I'm left or right, but I know that I want the government to work for people, not for the wealthy and for corporations. Which, by the way, technically means you're on the left, but, he definitely seems like he is an independent voter, willing to hear from everybody. But he's angry, and he's informed, and he knows what the hell he's talking about. And I love every second of that, because his message to Republican Representative Mark Alford, who's only been there since 2023, so he's in his, first term here, or excuse me, I guess second term, whatever. But either way, he got him. So Alford, a little taken aback by the comments, this was his response. Tell me, by the way, if you hear a single answer in this response, or if you hear him address a single thing that the man brought up. Because here is what Alford said in response. "We'll be glad to work with you. I really want to have an open line of communication. Sometimes I'm even in my office and my staff doesn't really like this, but I answer the phone. When I'm in the district and when I'm in DC, if I have free time, I'm not in a committee meeting or on the House floor. I like to answer the phone because I like to hear from people like you." That is the most politician response you can give to any question, right? Like, "Thank you for your question. And I love that we live in a country where you can ask questions like that. And I, as a representative, love to be able to answer questions. In fact, I answer questions all the time. Questions are meant to be answered. That is the nature of questions, and thus the nature of answers. And so thank you." That means nothing. You said a lot of words that meant nothing. You address nothing the man brought up. You address nothing with anything in the country at all, other than telling people how much you enjoy answering the phone. My grandmother enjoys answering the phone. Okay, that doesn't mean she should be a representative. But that's where we are. They won't even address the concerns of their own voters, only telling them that I like to hear your concerns, and then, of course, do absolutely squat about it because, as the pissed off voter said, Alford's got his head so far up Trump's ass, he doesn't. Donald Trump cannot run for office again. Now, that's not to say he's not going to stay in office after January 20th of 2029, but it just means he doesn't have to run for office again. Nevertheless, he is continuing to raise hundreds of millions of dollars this year alone by continuing to con his MAGA base. And the reason for that is very simple. Trump wants to be able to control the Republican Party itself for years and years to come. And the best way to do that is to take all the money. Because if everybody's giving their money to Trump's super PAC instead of to the RNC has to grovel to him in order to get money. It's a very simple thing, and Trump has been very successful with it. Which is odd, because his grifts, his cons of his own voters, are getting lazier and lazier. You know, we've seen it with the stupid NFTs that, of course, are now all worthless. We have seen it with his meme coins, which, of course, are all now worthless. We have seen it with the Trump sneakers, which are worthless. The Trump phones, which aren't even available yet, even though they were released months ago. We have seen it with his signed Bibles that are selling for an insanely, like, hundreds and hundreds of % markup. Everything this man does is a con, and each new con is somehow just lazier than the one before it. And this week, we got what might be his laziest con of his supporters yet. And the problem is, like all the other ones, it'll work. Because these people don't realize what a charlatan and a grifter and a con man Donald Trump truly is. And if you had any doubt of him being a con man, I am going to read you the entire fundraising email that he sent out to millions of supporters this week. Here it is. I want to try and get to heaven. By the way, I'm not skipping ahead. That's actually how it begins. I want to try and get to heaven. Last year, I came millimeters from death when that bullet pierced through my skin. My triumphant return to the White House was never supposed to happen. But I believe that God saved me for one reason: to make America great again. I wasn't supposed to beat crooked Hillary in 2016, but I did. I wasn't supposed to secure the border and build the greatest economy in history, but I did. You know what? We've had videos literally from this week of people just using regular old Home Depot ladders to climb over your wall. We have had people on social media take instant read thermometers, infrared thermometers, to the wall to show that it's actually hotter on the spots that were not painted black, which you made them paint black because you said, well, black's going to be hotter and they can't touch it. It's too hot. And of course, the economy is in complete and total shambles and we are headed for a recession. So I just had to call out all that BS real quick. Everything he says is a lie. I certainly wasn't supposed to survive an assassin's bullet, but by the grace of the Almighty God, I did. So now I have no other choice but to answer the call to duty. But I can't do it alone. Recipient name, you've been with me through everything. You were there when they launched the Russia hoax, the first impeachment, the second impeachment, the rigged 2020 election, the raid on Mar-a-Lago, the arrest and mugshot at the Fulton County Jail, the removal of the Colorado ballot. That's not a thing. The sham cases in D.C., Florida, New York, D.C., the first assassination attempt, the second assassination attempt, and so much more. So he mentioned DC twice, right? The second assassination attempt, there were no shots fired. Like, you were fine. That didn't even come close. There was just a crazy guy with a gun near you. And also, I love how you just list out all of the horrible things you've done in your life. Like, that's supposed to make people like you. Anyway. Just because I won in a historic landslide and have unleashed the golden age of America, that doesn't mean we can take our foot off the gas. The forces that hate our country don't want a secure border or safe cities or high-paying job. The radical left lunatics want to stop MAGA, but we're not going to let them, no matter what. Let me make this solemn pledge to you: I will never surrender. Except that time I actually surrendered to the Fulton County Jail. I put my life on the line willingly, because this is what I was made to do. But our movement, the beautiful MAGA movement, is powered by you. Every time they count us out, count you out, we come back bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. This is our moment to show the world that we will never back down, never give an inch, and never surrender in our fight to save this country. That's why I've launched a 24-hour Trump fundraising blitz, and I'm asking everyone to chip in $15 to make it one for the record books. So if you're with me all the way to the end, join with millions of your fellow patriots by chipping in $15 to keep the wins rolling in. That's a really long email, so I'm just going to summarize it. I'm a con man. Give me $15. That's it. That's what that means. That whole big stupid thing filled with lies. We're not in the golden age. Things are not better than ever. Our cities are not safer than ever. You're becoming a dictator and you want these idiots to give you $15. And they will. That's the worst part. This is so lazy. He's preying on so many of their fears, including their fear of God. Saying that God saved me. So, hey, if you don't give me $15, you're kind of pissing off God. And I got to get into heaven, and apparently I got to have a wad of cash to bribe St. Peter at the pearly gates to let me in. So I got to have your $15. What does that have to do with getting into heaven? Right? Why did he start with, I want to get into heaven, and then end with, so give me $15? Right? All the fluff in the middle you could have just gotten rid of. Like, I want to get into heaven, and apparently it's very expensive. It's very exclusive. Not many people get in there. But everybody's got to give me $15. I hate this man. Like, I hate this man so much. But I also have to admire how lazy his grifting is getting, yet still being successful. Eventually, we're going to hit the point where Trump just sends out emails to these absolute dimwits that just says, money now, with a link for them to click. Maybe even get to the point where it's just an email with a $sign on it and they know, like, oh, there you go. You give him the money now. That's going to happen. He's getting lazier, but it still works. So if he can get away with being this lazy and still making these people empty their bank accounts, then keep doing it. I have no problem with it. I hope you keep doing it. I hope they lose every penny they've ever earned in their lives and end up completely destitute. That is what I want for them. And thanks to Trump, it's probably what we're going to get. Did you know that you might be missing out on wonderful content from me? I mean, you're here already because clearly you like what you see. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video, share them with your friends and family, but also follow me across the rest of the social media world. And it's not that hard to do. Whether it's X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, on every one of those platforms, you can find me at the username @FarronBalanced. Simple enough, right? So get on it. And if you don't feel like going to each one of those outlets individually, lucky for you, we have links in the description of this video to take you right to my pages across all of social media. So don't miss a minute. And while you're at it, make sure you're also subscribed to the Ring of Fire YouTube channel, which I have been hosting for many, many years now. We've got more than 1 million subscribers over there, and there is fresh content over there every single day of the week. So again, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to this channel, and while you're at it, go subscribe to Ring of Fire at youtube.com/The Ring of Fire and @FarronBalanced across every social media platform. That, of course, is not considered just a far-right hellscape. Well, maybe Twitter is, but that's a story for a different day.